I'll unmute myself. Welcome to Doghouse After Dark. I don't like that sound. Yeah, we're here at midnight after a long week and a long weekend. We've got some stuff planned for you tonight. Mainly, we're going to be showing you some best ofs. We've got a best of highlight reel from Are You Serious? This one is volume one, features Casey Casperson, Jesse Sheriff, and Ben Brockhart, mainly, but others are there too. It's some pretty funny stuff, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it as much as I do. But to get things started, we've got a very special guest with us, and I'm gonna bring him in tonight. He's going to be a presidential candidate, and so he just wanted to come on the show and start his campaign, get going on his campaign, which I'm happy to do that for anyone. He is part of Puppetocracy, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Let's get him out here. Let's introduce him, Mr. Felton Stuffin.
No, later. Hello there, Tom.
Howdy.
Howdy. Thank you for having me on your show.
Oh, it's beautiful to have you, Felton, or Mr. Stuffin.
Yeah, Felton's fine.
Felton.
I feel like we're on first name basis.
All right. That's great. I know that you are a part of Puppetocracy, vote for a puppet for president. That's part of the Puppetocracy campaign going on. There's a Puppetocracy Facebook page that is basically called Puppetocracy, and you've got a lot of things coming up. You've got a you and your opponent will be facing off in a town hall, your very first hall meeting.
That's right.
This coming Wednesday at 8:00, right here, right where you're watching this, folks, right now. You can see that town hall meeting where Mr. Felton will be squaring off against his opponent in a very friendly round of questions from some people at our town hall meeting.
That is correct.
That is correct. So let me ask you a few questions. What made you decide to run for president?
Well, as a normal American, if you will, or someone like me, I would call a puppet American. Us puppet Americans are usually on the sidelines when it comes to elections. And this year, I feel like I had enough and felt it was time. It was time to get involved. And if you're going to do something, sometimes you got to change it from the inside. You can't do anything complaining in your local restaurant. You gotta go out there and do the work, Tom. You know what I mean?
Okay, so basically, you felt that you just didn't want to be a watcher anymore. You didn't want to feel you feel kind of manipulated as a puppet sometimes. I imagine, just like anybody else.
A little bit. I almost feel like someone's pulling my strings. And, I'm not that kind of puppet, Tom.
No, you're not. And I can feel you're speaking with your own voice, and you've got a voice that needs to be heard.
Right. I believe somebody needs to speak out, not just for puppet Americans, but for all Americans.
Okay. So, very quickly, what's your family situation? Are you married?
Oh, no, I'm sort of in a domestic partnership.
A domestic partnership.
Yeah, if you can see, I've got my ring on right there.
Okay, you want to tell me a little bit about that, or?
Oh well, he's great. He's a wonderful puppet, and he's in show business, so he's got to keep our relationship on the down low. But he does his thing, and I do mine.
All right, that's fair. Will he be making any kind of? I mean, if you win and become president, he'll wind up in the White House as the first puppet, or
Yeah, yes.
yeah.
Well, once that happens, we'll cross that bridge when we get there, Tom.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So, what kind of things are you campaigning on?
Well, one of the things I've noticed is that here in America, we like to place blame on so
We all
the
know, and we know whose fault that is.
right, of course we do. There are people in this let's say presidential campaign who don't like taking responsibility for anything, right?
Yeah, yeah,
The people up top like to say, it's not me, it's them, right? It's
yeah.
them
It's
versus us,
them. It's
right?
them.
So my
Hmm.
my whole platform is based on the simple idea of
Hmm.
we can be better.
We can be
We
better.
we can be better. That's
We.
right. It all starts with we.
Hmm. It all starts with we. It's not. I mean, we is very normal in a campaign in presidential politics. I feel like
You would think so. You would think
that
so.
that we've been weed on for a whole lot of years.
Well, the president definitely has been.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, it goes way back.
yeah,
So I shouldn't ask you right now for too many campaign promises. That's for your stump speeches and for
sure.
your. But what kind of things would America experience with you in the White House?
Oh well, that's a lot. I don't know if we have the time for that, but definitely I want to change a few things as
Hmm.
far as the way this country looks at how we're supposed to treat each other. Like I said, it's about we, right? And I feel that no one should feel like they're being manipulated by somebody else. Do
I
you know what I
see.
mean, Tom? Do you know
Oh,
what I mean?
I do. I do. Of course, I know what you mean. Um, so, how are you going to stop that from happening?
Well, like I said, it's all about the we.
Okay,
It's
it's about the
all
we.
about the we. If
Okay.
if if we got to stop looking at our country as I own this house, I own this TV. What are these taxes doing for me? We,
Okay.
we got to start thinking about it, like we need a better school system. We need a better healthcare system. It's all about the we, Tom.
Okay. And how do you get people who are so used to thinking of I? I mean, this country is founded on individualism. That's what the I is for,
Right, right.
individualism. And, you know, how do you get people to stop doing that?
Well,
How do you,
well, Tom, it's not going to be easy. Let me tell you.
no,
It's got to be. A lot of people like to look at things and say, "Well, you have to do this or you have to do that," but it can't. Honestly, it can't be either or, Tom. It's got to be almost a triple pronged approach. You have to change things at the top, but at the same time, you got to educate and change the
okay.
system from the bottom, Tom. I
Oh,
believe the American people are smart. I do. I
okay.
really do, Tom. I
Yeah.
really do.
Have
And I
you,
feel
you've,
that we
you've
just need
met
to
them.
properly educate
Okay.
them.
Okay. Okay. Like I asked some suggestions. Maybe you could,
Oh,
uh, like a simple thing. The Pledge of Allegiance, could you make pr- like the Pledge of Allegiance stronger?
I possibly could. Well,
In,
actually,
in, in other
speaking
words,
of the Pledge of Allegiance, we'd
w-
have to take a close look at that. But one of the things I want to change is
mm,
I want to change our national anthem.
oh, okay.
Right now, our national anthem talks about a flag, right?
Mm,
We talk about the flag and how great the flag is. I
yeah.
want to change it to America the Beautiful, Tom.
Okay.
America the Beautiful, because America is beautiful.
Okay. So, the Pledge of Allegiance talks about a flag too. I mean,
Right.
but no, I meant I wouldn't change the words of the Pledge of Allegiance. I would just make it stronger, so that if once you've pledged allegiance once,
Mhm.
you're done.
Oh, yeah,
I,
that makes sense, right? You
I mean,
gotta
what kind of a pledge do you have that you have to do every day? It's like,
right. It's almost like
didn't
a
did,
reminder every day.
didn't I just pledge yesterday? I mean,
Well,
don't you trust me? So
yeah,
so
usually
so
when you
it's like
pledge things, it's
it's
just
like
a one time.
the permanent Pledge of Allegiance. Like you
Right.
pledged allegiance one time
Hmm.
in your life, and that's it.
Right.
And you never
You
have
don't
to do it
pledge
again.
into a fraternity every day, Tom. So
No,
you
no,
shouldn't have to pledge into America every day.
every day. No, okay, it should be stronger.
Yeah.
So it's like we should just say, "I really pledge allegiance."
I absolutely pledge allegiance.
Totally.
You know, and not to the flag, Tom.
Not to the flag.
Why are we pledging
Well,
allegiance
to
to
the
a flag?
republic for which it stands, which
Right,
is
and the republic for which it stands. But we pledge to the flag. So I pledge allegiance to America.
okay. Okay.
And
you know,
people.
good. And people are important. And
Mhm.
and I'm glad to hear you say that, because I'm a person, and I know you think of yourself as one.
I am. Yes. Puppets are considered people, Tom.
Okay, good. Oh, well, yeah. Okay, so Felton, I'm glad you were here with us tonight. I know that we'll be seeing you Wednesday night against your opponent, Kyle von Beethoven, and
Right.
he will be not debating with you necessarily, but answering questions
Right.
in a
And
civilized.
Kyle's a good man. I don't have a disparaging word against Tom. Against Kyle. I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah. Well, I hear he's got some attack ads planned, but
Oh.
what are you going to do? That's politics, right?
Right. Well, you know what they say: when they go low, we go high, Tom.
Okay. So you go high, and we'll go bye.
All right.
Thank you very much, Felton, for joining us on our show. And we will see you on Wednesday. Good luck in the race, and come back and check with us every once in a while. See how you're doing. Maybe we can have both you and Kyle on here one night.
That'd be fantastic. All right, Tom. You have a great show. Break some legs. I'm out of here. Bye.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So much for that. Yeah. All right. So let's get back to the thing we were going to do, which is to run that wonderful best of. It's a lot of fun. It's as I say, it's going to feature Casey, Jesse, and Ben in volume 1 of this. So if I were you, what I would do is I would sit back and enjoy this and watch this, because it's just fun. Okay. And there we go.
Oh.
Yes. Once, when I had too much to drink, I punched a pastor in the face because he wouldn't stop talking about Jesus.
Okay. All right. So, who get us started?
Okay. When did this take place?
This took place in college.
Okay.
What were the repercussions besides going to hell?
There were so honestly, there weren't any real repercussions, because he wasn't wearing like his garb. Like the little tchotchke.
Oh, he was like off duty, like an off-duty pastor.
He was off duty. He was also drinking, and he was trolling me a little bit. So I was also drinking, and he pushed me, and
turning wine into water.
So we're at a bar. As you know,
what was the name of this bar?
This was Rosie's. This is in downtown Evansville, and
that's in Indiana, correct?
That's in Indiana. That's where I went to school at the University of Evansville. We went to Rosie's. We frequented there often. That's where the theater peeps went. And so there was just this loud dude at the end of the bar, and he just wouldn't shut up. Like, there were 4 of us after a show talking, and he just would not shut up. And so I looked at him and was like, "Hey man, we're just having a good time." And he said, "God bless you." And I said, "God is not real. He does not exist. So if you'd like to come bless us, you can come do it yourself." And so he kept to himself, decided to speak up again. And I told the bartender, I said, "I'd like to buy that drunk gentleman at the end of the bar a drink. It looks like he needs friends and attention." And so I did so. He raised it and he said, may God be with you. And he said a little prayer.
You did the
And I
Christian
said,
thing, really, didn't you?
I
You
did,
really
yeah.
did.
Did the Christian thing.
And you paid for these drinks yourselves. You had money to pay for these drinks.
Jesse, I worked at Circuit City as a commissioned salesperson.
Oh,
I was making stacks on
Yes.
stacks, selling them camcorders.
That checks out.
Stacks on stacks.
Was this before or after you pushed a nun down a flight of stairs? I'm trying to get the timeline straight here.
yeah.
I don't think that's what I included in my anecdote, Tom.
Do they have flights of stairs in Evansville? I don't even know if any of the buildings go above one.
No, they're too plain at Evansville. Stairs are very risky in the Midwest.
Those are the plains, right? I mean, it's a plain state, isn't it? Yeah.
It's a great plains.
Well, they're good. I don't know how great they are, but
fuck the Midwest. So we're gonna get the rest of us very sick. So he raised his glass and he said, "May God be with you." And he said some other like fucking dumb prayer. And I said, "Dude, I didn't buy you a drink to keep talking to me about God." And then he came over to us and started to tell us about Jesus and how even though we were being unkind to him, Jesus still loved us. And I said, "Dude, back the fuck off." And he pushed me and then I punched him in the face.
What was the immediate did he tumble? What happened?
Turns out I haven't fought much. So
That's true.
when I punched him in the face, it was like this, but also halfway out, I kind of wanted not to do it anymore. So it was kind of like a weird place that I hit him.
Yeah.
And he was stunned more than anything.
You know what Jesus said? I mean, he said, let he who is without sin throw the first girly punch. I think
Now, the other three theater majors pulled me off. They were shocked. The bartender said, "I think it's time for everyone to leave." And as I was walking out the bar, I heard the bartender say, "I'm so sorry, Father." And I turned I said, "That's your fucking dad?" He goes, "No, that's the pastor." I can't remember that.
It must have been strange back in those days for you to leave the bar before anybody else.
Agreed.
Nice.
Plot hole.
Nice.
It took me punching a man of the faith to exit the bar.
Were you allowed back at Rosie's?
No.
Oh.
It was so
Has something like that ever happened to you again, or was that the last sucker punch?
I have probably instigated more things, but back when that happened, I was probably like 60 pounds lighter and I was just a skinny like theater kid. Now, since then, if I lose my temper, people just go away. So
Sarah, you're a lawyer. You're a lawyer. Why aren't you cross-examining this guy a little bit more?
She's on my team.
Because he's on my team.
Matter? No, it doesn't matter. You still got to get the truth out of him. It's,
All right.
Everybody's fair game.
There. Okay.
She believes me.
Where was your super hot girlfriend at the time?
Yeah, I was like, where was Courtney? Did she fix this? What happened?
She never wanted to hang out with the theater people. She was at home like doing cool like sorority stuff that night.
But were you guys together at that point?
What was that?
Were you guys together at that point?
Yes.
What was her reaction? Did she find out like that night or like a year later? Does she know
right now?
Does she know right now?
She knows now.
Oh,
she's not gonna watch this. Are you kidding me?
Well, we'll get word. Sure.
Yeah.
It's been 20 years. She's so tired of my shit.
We'll send out a raven post haste.
Do you still not believe in God or Jesus?
No.
Okay. Consistent.
She's about to proselytize your ass.
Well,
I'm literally on this with 4 Jewish people. So
Sorry.
you guys sure you don't want to make me believe in Jesus before we move
you're
along?
on
Or
this
do you
with-
want me to punch all of you in the fucking mouth?
Look, we've got like a good vintage testament with your name on it.
You're on this with 4 Jewish people, so none of us believe in God.
Hey, you're buying people free drinks if they talk too much about Jesus. I just might start talking about Jesus.
It's the most Jewish thing you could say.
I aim to please.
Okay, so I'm going to call a halt to proceedings here. I want to see you in my chambers. No, I don't really want to see you anywhere.
I don't know where you are in relation to the screen, but the Catholic thing for me to do is
Oh, are you on your knees?
Are you touching the
Aren't you supposed to say a few mea culpas or whatever? Isn't that how it works?
Doing squats.
Mea culpa, mea maxima culpa. Yeah.
Guys, this is a family show.
What's that? Yeah.
This is a family show.
Yeah, right. What family? Manson family? Okay, so I need Jesse and Daniel to kind of discuss it. Tell me what you think. Is he telling the truth or is it a lie?
Okay, here's the thing. Casey, you get to talking, you're at the bar. I can't imagine he wouldn't have mentioned that he like punched somebody. Like in all the stories that have come up, like I've never heard him like hit anybody.
I punched people. Have you ever heard me talk about it?
I think
No.
at first, when I heard the title, I was like, "Oh, that's obviously a bit outlandish, a father." But then, I know.
Say
Casey,
father. It said pastor, so it's a little.
Well, you know what I mean.
That's like four Jews don't know the difference between a father and a pastor, anyway. So
I know Casey gets riled up. I know he's a guy who takes things in his own hands. So I could just kind of see it happening.
okay. So the two of you have to come up with a word.
I could see it happening.
So you think it's true or false?
I think it's true.
Let's go with true. Let's go.
You think it's true? Okay. You think it's true? It's a lie.
Nice.
That's the point for the blue team.
I have never punched anyone in the face in my life.
We'll start with Casey. Are you ready, Casey?
Okay.
Here's Casey's truth or lie.
Here we go. At a cookout, I once saturated the inside of a watermelon with vodka, but it accidentally got served at the kids' table.
Which might be a felony.
Oh, that's so fun.
Everything's fine, guys.
Okay.
I just did this for 4th of July.
Serve vodka to children.
I did the watermelon part of it.
Why bother? You're drinking beer and breastfeeding. It's exactly the same thing.
You're right. Exactly the same.
Hey, the way you get pregnant is the way you feed, right?
That's true. So,
Is that a thing?
any questions or cross-examination for Casey?
Who was hosting the cookout? Was it you, or were you a guest at someone else's cookout?
It was Thanksgiving. So it was at my parents' place in Colorado. I had finished my first year. Well, I was in my first semester of college. And of course, I thought it was super cool to tell my parents about this thing about drilling a hole into a watermelon and pouring the bottle of vodka in, because we did that my freshman year. And I thought it'd be super cool to share that. Unfortunately, I only told it to my dad and not to my mom, who accordingly sliced up the watermelon and left it out at the children's table, because of course during Thanksgiving, the kids aren't necessarily into all the Thanksgiving foods, but they were into the fruits and the watermelon. And so forth. Yes.
Was this around the same time as the heroin sugar cookies, which were?
Yes, a callback we haven't had yet. But yes,
That's the future.
oh, so future. It was the COVID cookies.
Great.
Okay, so I'm confused about the mechanics of this watermelon infusion thing. So if you're just drilling a hole and pouring the vodka in, then where does the liquid go when you cut open? Because now you have more liquid in there than the watermelon already had. So wouldn't it just make a huge mess when you cut it open?
Yeah, so the thing that makes this watermelon thing kind of cool is you drill basically a little hole into the middle of the watermelon, and then you literally just dump a bottle of, in this case, Absolute, into the top of the watermelon. And over time, it just soaks into the watermelon. Like, that's it. And then you cut it up, you slice it up, and for whatever reason, the watermelon just absorbs all the vodka. And,
Watermelons are like big green tampons, basically. They have the same property.
No.
You know about tampons, right?
Which I once laced with vodka and served at Thanksgiving. Which
all the kids ate. Is
Yeah.
it true that, Tom, all the kids ate laced tampons?
they did, and it shut them up for the whole night, which was nice.
If you want to know something gross, there's a movie called Kids in which one of the characters takes a tampon and dips it into fruit juice and then drinks it that way.
Okay.
If you want another fun fact, tampons were actually invented to plug up bullet holes in World War I. Yep. The nurses actually saw what was going on the battlefield, and they had an idea, and that is how their function ended up changing over time.
Wow.
Yep.
They're really good for bloody noses too.
I'm sick.
So true.
I see Dash's comment here. Dash says that's either a lie or a felony. Nothing was reported. So
The kids were happy.
So how
Did the kids eat the
how
watermelon?
did the kids react? Did any of them eat the fruit, and you know, what ensued afterward?
So luckily, only a few kids had a couple of pieces of watermelon before I knew what was happening, because I made the watermelon and put it in place. But there was also another watermelon that was supposed to be cut up and like served up. So it was like two separate things. This reminds me of a different party that I went to where eventually we had to create a rule where you had to put a note on top of brownies that said "weed in brownies." It's a different.
Wait. As in, there's weed in the brownies, or as I weed in the brownies?
As in, these brownies have not been trimmed yet.
Weed in brownies.
This was Colorado. Yeah.
It was in Colorado.
Next time I go to any of y'all places, I'm bringing in delivery.
Yeah.
Okay, one or two more questions, and then you need to come up with a consensus on the blue team, if you need. Nothing? You don't have any more questions?
Who are these kids, Casey? Because, right, like, it's your family. So you didn't have kids at the time.
We can't say. That's the anonymous part of Alcoholics Anonymous.
This is a long time ago. So this is Carver, and this is Lily, who are two of like my nephews who at the time were like 10 and 8 and just getting into that shit. There was Michael and Holly, who were 6 and 5, I think. And they were, look, I ate a lot of that watermelon.
A lot to be thankful for that Thanksgiving. Sure made the Detroit Lions game easier to watch, I'm sure.
Oh God! But here's the thing. Here's the thing I'm going to say.
Go Lions!
This you can't do this hand gesture anymore. You know.
Oh,
No,
I didn't.
No.
I won't.
Yeah, you can't because you know.
Can you cancel Allie's box?
No.
Okay, so I'll need a consensus now on the blue team. You'll need to discuss and consensus with one another.
Okay, guys.
You need to discuss and consensus with one another.
Who are these kids, Casey? Because, right, like, it's your family.
Okay, so I'll need
who like it's cold in Colorado, like in Thanksgiving time. Like who's eating watermelon? You know,
That's a really good point. I mean, I think pumpkin pie, desserty things. In which case, like kids eat that.
I don't.
Get a cake. I don't know. Like if this were in Florida, I think that'd be more plausible. But in Colorado during cold weather, I don't know.
If I had to make up an answer to when this took place, I would say July 4th,
Yeah.
Memorial Day. I wouldn't make up Thanksgiving.
that's true.
Ooh, Ben.
Mm.
Ben, you
Also,
just,
this does seem like something Casey would do to me.
Yeah, no, he's
Not due to me, but
not due to me.
Yeah.
Yes.
It seems to me that he would do this thing.
Yeah,
Around me for fucking 5
we're all totally buying the watermelon thing, just whether or not it actually ended up.
Yeah, to you, Casey would have weed in the brownies, but or would have weed in the brown. Whatever. Yeah, it's either a verb or a noun. So I need.
It's true.
What's that? You
I
say
lean
it's
towards
true.
true.
You lean
I say
towards
false, so Lauren, you get the deciding vote.
Fighter.
Yeah, you're in the captain.
Pressure.
You're in the
You're the
captain's
team
chair.
captain.
You get to represent the team. You get to overrule or do whatever you want.
No pressure.
No pressure.
Literally zero.
Zero. Absolutely. It's really
You know
like
what?
none.
Between Jesse and Ben, who knows Casey longer?
I don't know. Even a short
Same.
time seems
Yeah.
long. So I.
All
Yeah,
right,
I think you do.
Jesse, if you say false, I'm going to go with you.
God.
So you say it's a lie, basically.
lie. Yep.
Okay. It's a lie.
Good call.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Lovely. That's a,
Oh
that's a
fuck!
lovely lie.
If I listen, guys, if I can't pass anything off on Jesse, fuck off. I'm out.
Here you go, Jesse. This is yours.
Okay. Oh yeah, that was a good memory.
Can you read it?
Yes,
Wait,
I
can you
read
read?
it. I don't need to read it. I lived it. You guys need me to reenact it? I can.
No. Just read it.
Hey, no, guys, I need this. Go ahead.
Wait, did I not read it out loud?
What?
You didn't read
Did I
it.
not read it out loud?
Did you?
You did not.
I didn't hear it.
No reading of it. No.
I once pulled a muscle trying to twerk.
Does that sound familiar as having come out of your mouth before? Or
Yes.
It does,
of course.
okay. All right.
I was in the taken back to the moment.
Ask away.
Yeah,
What muscle?
it was my ass muscle.
Right or left or both?
My right.
What
What is that called?
Your gluteus maximus.
Yes.
Is this a muscle?
Hey, Ben, stop with the Star Wars.
Sorry.
Hold on,
No,
Jesse.
don't go over.
One more time.
Allie thinks that's
What
a
did the
character
doctor
from
diagnose
Star
it
Wars.
as? One more time.
Allie, that's
My ass muscle. What else?
the planet where Darth Maul's
This
from.
is the gluteus maximus.
I'm sorry, I'm not like a scientist like the rest of you.
Okay, was this just your standard basic 2 feet on the ground twerking, or was this like feet up on the wall?
Yeah. There was a wall. Yeah, feet up on the wall. It was actually like an art wall. It was like a very artsy. Like I was in Austin, so I don't know if that's the context.
So you were trying to just keep it weird, and then
I was keeping it weird. Exactly. It was my friend Olivia's birthday. She comes up and
Oh God. Oh God. Is Olivia watching right now?
Olivia
Probably not.
doesn't actually exist. I don't know if you realize that, Casey.
She does exist.
No.
Oh, son of a
It was
bitch.
her dirty 30, if that means anything to you guys. So, we were having a good time, we were doing like a bar crawl situation, and they
You
have
have
these
to
like
literally crawl to the rest of the bars after you pulled your butt muscle.
She would have
yeah,
to.
there was some like I didn't feel bad until the next day, so it wasn't like instant.
What song was it?
Alex, could you cheer the hell down, please?
But it was a really cool photo op because it was like the welcome to like Austin sign, and there was a row of us twerking. So we did it for the gram.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Jesse, I have looked all over your gram, and
You know?
I haven't. Is that weird? But for the sake of this show, and I have not seen that twerk on any of your gram.
Story, so I don't think it might have gone away. But
How long ago was this?
crazy
Yeah,
night.
when was this?
How long ago?
This was like 2 years ago. We had just turned 30. Dirty 30.
You don't know how to delete shit from 2 years ago. You looked better then. You left it. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, it was like we went on a bus ride. I mean, I could tell you more about the whole night.
Jesse, you don't take buses, you fucking
It was
liar.
a Texas bus tour. It was like their thing.
Was it on a cul-de-sac?
It was we went in a loop.
Cul-de-sac to cul-de-sac.
Jesse, was just in front of your house?
Yes, this was last week. My mom was driving the van.
That is, if you told that story 100%, I believe it. Marcia is a fucking train wreck. I get it.
Oh, another detail. I just think this adds like comedic relief. We were all wearing fanny packs, just because.
Oh fuck! Now it makes me feel like it's true because she added that dumb shit.
It said like dirty 30. Yeah, that was the whole thing.
30.
Yeah, but how old are you, Jesse?
And those
I was
cul-de-sac.
30. I'm 31 now. What do you think?
But you're saying the story's 2 years
Ooh,
old.
I don't know. I'm not like it was like November.
Okay.
November?
Yeah, November. I know.
Thanksgiving? Around Thanksgiving?
I think there's
You went to
Crazy
Austin for
watermelon.
your 30th birthday.
We got so drunk they served us the watermelon at the kids' table, and
there's a fine line between questioning Jesse and abusing Jesse.
Thank you.
I hope.
I would strong disagree.
We're just twerking.
I'm not saying which I prefer. We do. I'm just saying that there's a fine line between one and the other.
The only thing Jesse knows is abuse, and the thing is
How long were you out?
listen. I've been so messed up with Daniel, and I don't even know how to do things anymore. And
Alex, you had a question.
How long were you out of commission from pulling your butt muscle?
Well, that day I was okay because I again a lot of alcohol. Like that whole. The next day I was feeling it, and I was like, yeah, like I didn't go to Orange Theory for like a week, just to give you like an idea.
So you were out of. So nobody commissioned your butt for at least a week after.
No,
Okay.
it was
Okay. So let's have the red team confer and do what they do and come up with a verdict.
I'm just gonna sit in the back of the room and you guys figure it out.
Thanks, Casey.
Yes.
It's so
Casey was not only the
plausible.
captain of this team, he was the captain of the Exxon Valdez. and also that ship that overturned near Venice.
Tom, I'm the captain now. I'm the captain now.
So
It's so plausible that I want to say it's fake.
Oh no.
that's cool.
I'm gonna ride with you, Alan.
You are? I wanted you to disagree with me, Alex.
That's really sweet of you guys. Like I thank you. Like
Casey, what do you think?
I know you don't know that.
I just don't think that Jewish Jessie would go to Austin for her 30th. And
It wasn't her 30th. It was her friend's 30th.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Olivia's Jewish too. So I just I'm with you, Allie. And if not, I'll kill myself. If this is wrong, I'm gonna die.
you're saying it's a lie? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
I think that's what we're saying. Yeah, I think so.
Well, Casey, come on back because it is alive.
Oh my God!
You got
Oh my God!
point. It's Christmas, Casey. It's Christmas.
Absolute delight on
Oh my god.
Guys, that was a cry for help.
Yes.
And even if it was true, Tom, I appreciate you pulling the trigger the opposite way. Because that was it. I tied up the rope. I've gotten good at rope tying skills, and oh boy, it's been a rough go, guys.
Yikes.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll start with you, Jesse. Are you ready, Jesse?
Sure. Yes.
Okay. Let's find Jesse. Here we go. This is you.
I once got carsick during a test drive at a dealership.
Oh, you were the one.
Yes.
You're famous in AutoNation circles.
Come on, Tom. That's embarrassing. Oh, what do you guys want to know?
Were you the driver or a passenger?
Well, I was a passenger. Yes.
Who was driving? It was your
my
mom. It was
husband.
Marcia.
Oh,
well, same.
Same.
Same thing.
Stephen was driving. But it's funny because it wasn't like a race car or anything. It was a Hyundai Sonata.
Jesse,
Okay.
That Jewish stomach really coming through.
Jesse, how much did the car cost to clean up after you
That
threw
is
up
a
in
very legitimate question, Daniel. So I don't know specifically because Stephen took care of it. He's a good man. But
they threw in.
What do you mean? What do you mean he took care of it?
He took care of it, guys.
Did he kill the car salesperson and put the car in a lake?
car's in a canal. It's like in,
over at
Boca.
Hyundai.
It didn't cost a lot, and they threw in free undercoating. So
I mean, it is a Hyundai, so it comes pre-puked. Anyway.
So I did buy the car.
Only one previous puker.
As a promotion.
She only puked in it on the way to church every Sunday.
I'm in a
Guys,
Did you not see that you bought it sign under the sticker?
I did buy it though. That's the funniest part.
certified puke owned.
I'll have one. I'll have this one, but a different one.
Does it show up in the Carfax?
Nice.
No,
Blue
but-
book value just
The
plummeted.
puke book value.
I have a question here. If the car had enough of a bumpy ride to it that you would get physically ill in it, why would you buy it?
Okay, you guys, we're missing like a key part of this. Like I was hungover as fuck. Like that. Yeah, like that's the key thing here.
Yeah, but just that would mean that you puke every day. You know what I mean? Like
No, exactly.
She's not in a Hyundai every day.
she is in a Hyundai every day. I know her car.
That's right. That's how I knew.
You build up a
No,
tolerance.
she loved the car so much that she said, "This puke feels like a nice puke."
I can see myself puking here with a family. Like, can you imagine like a car seat in the back and me puking in the front?
That's
Real
exactly that
family
today.
car.
You don't have to burp your baby manually anymore. You just strap her in.
Just everyone gets in the car. They
Get
yak
that
it
baby
out.
hammered.
How much room do they have in this console here? That's about holds about 1.5 liters.
So, question, Jesse, were you able to like play it off smoothly, with the salesperson and any kind of like, oh, just making sure that the Scotch Guard works, or like some kind of thing to redeem yourself?
No, there was no redemption to be had. I did roll down the window, or you know what I mean, whatever. So like, it didn't totally get like everywhere. Like I did a pretty good job of like not getting it on the car. So it wasn't.
She's done this before, is what she's saying. She has a car riding puke system.
I can tell you, I don't like riding. I don't like riding in any seat in a car other than the driver's seat. If I'm in the passenger seat or if I'm in the back, I don't I've never puked, but man, I want to. I mean, and it doesn't have to be a bumpy ride. Somebody once picked me up in a limousine, and they thought they were doing me a favor, and I'm like, I was sitting in the back for a while, swaying along and that kind of thing. It's like, I got to stop. Like, you got to let me sit. I can't. So I can't do it. It doesn't have to be a bumpy ride for me.
That's right. It was a smooth ride. So smooth that I walked out of there with a used 2015 Hyundai Sonata.
You got rid of that new car smell pretty quickly, though.
You're the first person to buy a new car that was immediately used. Like you came back from the test drive and they had to fix the quote, and you're like, no, it's used.
I had a good sport though. I felt like I had to take that one. Like I felt like, this is my car.
There's a big banner on the front of that dealership. You puke in it, you buy it. It's
okay, so Jesse, is this now like your methodology for claiming things?
I just puked on it.
She puked on her husband before she met him.
Exactly. Yes.
That's how Jesse made it into the company. She took the classes.
I want this
on her
desk.
graduation night. She puked on everybody, and she was like, "I'm in the troop," and we're like, "Okay, we did it."
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw this up to you guys.
Oh.
And
oh
God,
my friend.
Okay. Yes, she definitely puts the bar in barf. So I'm going to throw this up to you guys. On the blue team, is she lying or telling the truth? And while you're at it, you can nominate a captain if you want, since you've got 3 captainish people in that.
I'm going to put Lauren as captain.
Sounds
I'm
good
going
to
to
me.
put that on her. Yeah.
I don't want that responsibility. No,
Okay, doesn't want it.
You guys.
Okay, Mr. Gynecologist.
She's telling the truth.
Yeah,
This
it
is
feels truthful.
most Jesse story I've ever heard in my life.
This feels like a Jesse
More
truth.
than pulling her ass muscle.
Okay, so you're basically saying she's telling the truth. Excellent.
Lauren, how do you feel about this?
I mean, if I were feeling sick in the morning, I wouldn't go for a test drive. But then this is also Jesse.
Yes.
I gotta live my life, Lauren.
The thing is you gotta. If Jesse didn't get out of the house every morning, she was hungover. She wouldn't be getting out of the house many
I wouldn't be
days.
here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go with true.
So
Sure.
you're all saying it's true. It's a lie.
Whoa, she did it!
What a twist.
Yeah.
She did it!
Wow.
Jesse's becoming the new Daniel.
Here's Ben.
When I was a little kid, I was convinced that I was related to Uncle Ben because his name was Ben too.
You're bald, but you didn't know that as a little kid.
Might not have been as a little kid.
Ben,
Yeah, as a little kid, I had hair.
who did you tell this to? Like, who are the people that in your life this was being told to?
Were you just going around the playground? Just like,
He told it.
Ben, nice guy.
He told it to his Aunt Jemima.
This was just a thing. It was pretty much just a thing that I thought because my actual uncle told me this as a joke, and it was perpetuated just like in the family. I don't think I ever told anybody in school about it because it never came up.
Did you ever ask your family why Uncle Ben never came over?
No, my uncle told me, you have another uncle and his name is Ben too. And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah, he's the guy from the rice and he doesn't live here. So it was easily explained away as he lives out of town.
Yeah, he's the black
So as a
uncle.
little kid, you just believe that. You believe adults when you're a kid.
Did you get jealous when you saw like Uncle Ben's commercials and you saw like a night of your family like cooking together with Uncle Ben and you were just like, why the fuck doesn't he visit me? I've never gotten a single card. Like, how did you justify that to yourself?
I was upset because my mom is not a good cook. So why don't I get all these good things? But she took me to eat fast
Wait,
food a
I-
lot as a kid, so it was fine.
Did you not ever like complain to your parents that you weren't getting good enough birthday presents because you know you had all that like big rice money that they could have been pulling from?
The big rice.
I was too
Right?
young to know about the rice fortunes that I should have been heir to at the time. I didn't
What
have
about-
concept of money at the
You
time.
were like, can
was
I
too
get a
young.
kernel of that?
Oh no.
Just a
Great.
Yeah.
What
Great.
about Uncle Ben from Spider-Man? Did you see that? And you're just like preposterous. That could never be that guy. This
I
Uncle
didn't-
Ben, yes. That Uncle Ben.
That
bullshit.
Uncle Ben, no. Well, I didn't know Spider-Man until I was older. I didn't get into Spider-Man until I was in like late elementary school.
So,
And this was much earlier.
so as a corollary, did you believe that all people named Ben were related?
I don't think I put that much thought into it. I just
Like, why
accepted
that
that
Ben
yes,
specifically?
because my uncle told me that you have another uncle and his name is Ben too. It wasn't that, I was like, everybody named Ben is related to me. It was just like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I buy that. That was the reason he gave me.
Wait,
So
but
that
did
was like
your
good
uncle-
enough for me.
But did your uncle just tell you that you also have an uncle named Ben, or was he like holding up a box of rice and was like, this is your kin?
It wasn't, he didn't hold up a box of rice. It was just, you have an uncle named Ben too. And then.
And you extrapolated that into that.
Yeah, the
Okay.
rice guy. And then
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you guys to on the blue team to confer about this, because I think we have a lot of information, and we'll decide whether there's a grain of truth to this. If you know what I'm saying? Oh no, Barry's laughing in the future.
It could be true.
I mean, I'm a real fucking dumbass, so.
Yeah. I know little boys are dumb, but
Little Debbie, the cupcake girl.
If they told me that, I probably would have bought it.
Okay.
Okay, so Sarah, Barry, Lauren, I need a consensus.
that might be silly, but I don't know if he's that silly.
That's the only place where I see any flaw in this is I'm like, would Ben tell this to Tom for this show? The only place where I'm like, that this probably isn't true, but it sounds so true. So if it's not true, Tom's a genius.
I just have a hard time thinking that Ben's parents would allow this to just keep going. Like, and that there weren't subsequent questions of like, why doesn't Uncle Ben pop by for Christmas?
There are an
Why
awful lot of things that uncles do that parents never know about.
I don't know.
Very
I'm
multicultural.
child with only children.
Well, I realize that families can be very multicultural. I'm really having an issue with like the racial boundaries of like Ben making this assumption.
Okay,
Well,
so
I'm gonna go with lie.
so now that we know your thought process, what's your thought?
I'm leaning towards lie, but I'm not like very firm on it. But I'm leaning towards lie.
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 You're all saying it's a lie.
More lie. Yeah.
Okay, turns out it's a lie.
I was like,
That is so very closely believable.
Yeah, that is well done.
It really was. Ben's not that dumb.
Ben is.
I don't know.
Are you ready, Ben? Here goes.
Yeah. Once I climbed way up a tree, and then my friend chainsawed the lower branches off so I couldn't climb down.
I don't care if it's fake. I want to picture Ben in a tree.
It's not that funny. You mean people. Not that funny.
Ben, I want you to describe the chainsaw. Yeah, what model?
Describe the chainsaw. It was probably a Craftsman. I don't know models of chainsaws, but I'm sure a Craftsman is a very popular brand. And my buddy Nick, who had access to the tool shed and did, the lawn mowing and stuff, would like to fuck with me. And that was one of the ways he did it when we were kids.
How many months ago was this?
I mean, if you count in like children years, I would say about 24. So I was mid-30s at the time.
Holy shit.
Like a cordless chainsaw, or did he like come out there with like 30 feet of cord that he had to run over and plug it to the side of the house and be like, hold on, and then like, a few minutes later he shows up at the tree?
No, I think I would have been able to get down in time if he had a corded one that he had to like plug in and unwind. No, it was a cordless one that just, he could come out and.
So what brought you to the top of this tree?
I wasn't at the top. I mean, I wasn't like at the very top of the tree. I was just high enough up that it was hard to jump down. So.
No, I think why did that happen? Why did you scale a tree?
Did you guys never climb trees when you were kids?
I all the time. All the time.
Yeah. When you're a kid, you're like 10 years old. You see a tree that's cool and has branches that you can get up on. You want to climb up it.
I climbed one only a few years ago, just to help my cat get down.
Roofs, Tom?
Yeah.
What?
We share 99% of our DNA with apes, so we have tree climbing in us.
Where was this? Like, what city?
Well, hold on.
What? Say that again, Sarah.
What city was this? Like, where was this regionally?
Pembroke Pines.
Okay.
In the suburbs of Pembroke Pines, where I grew up.
So were these pines?
I don't think it was a pine.
Were they Pembroke?
Yeah. They were, I don't know what kind of trees. I don't know what trees are. I don't know the different kinds of trees aside from pine trees. But
there are only 3 different kinds of trees, so this is not.
Deciduous tree.
Was it what?
Was it a coniferous or a deciduous tree?
I don't know what either of those words mean.
From what I know about Century Village, you might have actually been climbing an old person.
Say it, Daniel. I'm sorry. What'd you say, Daniel?
Oh, from what I know of Pembroke Pines, you may have actually been climbing an old person.
I mean, it is in a neighborhood, Silver Lakes, that's near Century Village.
So. This comment specific to you.
What's that?
Yeah.
Was it an Episcopalian tree or?
Oh man!
Are you sure it wasn't actually a giraffe's neck and not the trunk of the tree? Same for the tracheostomy hole.
It could have been when the branches got sawed off. It revealed like the marks that were left looked like Mikhail Gorbachev's birthmarks.
Nice.
Wait, so how did you eventually get down from the tree? Theoretically, you should still be there.
They got a ladder out for me to climb down.
Who did?
Back into the tool shed and got a ladder so that I could. Yeah, my friend.
Okay.
It was.
How
it's
much
one of those.
Did he bring the ladder? Like, how long did he leave you up there?
A few minutes, probably, of me shouting, "Get me down! Let me down!"
So I'm going to combine this with a comment. So obviously, this was not a. Wait, this was not a. Palm tree.
Palm tree.
I'm going to need a consensus from the blue team, and this is it. This is going to determine everything.
Can I ask one more question?
Yes.
What did you do with the branches that were on the ground after they were sawed off?
You just put them out by the garbage, like the front yard where you roll your trash can up.
Made a cardigan.
Whittled them into what does Doctor Who have? What is the
sonic screwdriver?
Yeah, whittled them into sonic screwdriver.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to whittle down your responses to 1. So.
Nice.
Thank you. all 3 of you.
Oh, nice. Hey, I'm leaving right now.
Oh, God.
I don't know. Could I like branch out into different like opinions from like past
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that
Don't make a sap out of us.
that the likelihood of the branches, if they were thick enough for him to climb up the first part, they had to have been fairly thick branches. So by the time the friend would have sawed through one of them, he would have already gotten down on one of the other branches. Like,
why does the kid have a chainsaw and ladder? What's going on?
It's Florida.
What is going on? I
Like
don't
I said,
understand.
okay, we're done with the. I'm banging the gavel now. We're done with the cross examination. I need you to come up with a consensus. The three of you.
Picturing Ben as an outdoor kid's a tough sell. I mean, in my mind, Ben came out of the womb watching comedy on YouTube. So I mean,
if he was an outdoor kid, he wouldn't have got stuck up a tree.
I honestly think this is true. I wish I had more times to poke holes in this, but I just kind of think it's true. Me personally, what do you guys think?
The captain
I'm
says
trying to say it's a lie. It seems like too much work for one child with a chainsaw to accomplish in such a short window of time.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm leaning towards that Daniel's barking up the wrong tree.
Oh no!
Refunds.
Lauren, what do you say?
I kind of think. I mean, I climbed trees too when I was a kid, and the thickest branches are the ones on the bottom, where they get smaller as you get to the top of a tree. So it would take, I think, too much work to cut through like one big branch. In order, he would have been able to get down in time. So I'm gonna say it's a lie.
Daniel, you get to decide.
Also,
You're the one who has to say. You can overrule, or you can, because you have a different opinion. But it's up to you.
We're going with lie. We're going with lie on this one.
Are you?
These are valid points, team.
Okay, you're going with lie. Well, I can. I guess I should tell you whether it's a lie or not. It turns out it is a lie. You got it. Absolutely right. And
Sarah pretty much nailed that I was not an outdoorsy kid.